There is a specific, quiet dread that every backyard gardener knows all too well. You walk out to your garden patch on a warm, humid summer morning, cup of coffee in hand, expecting to see the vibrant, deep green canopy of your cucumber vines climbing gracefully up the trellis. Instead, as you bend down, you notice a faint, pale yellow speckling on the older, lower leaves. At first, you might brush it off as a minor nutrient hiccup, but within 48 hours, those small spots expand, merging into dry yellow patches that slowly creep up the main stem. Within a week, your once thriving plants look tired, exhausted, and desperately weak. The bright yellow blossoms that promised a heavy harvest of crisp, juicy cucumbers suddenly begin to shrivel and drop off the vine before they can even be pollinated. Most gardeners don't know this, but when a plant starts shedding its blossoms, it is entering survival mode. It realizes it no longer has the photosynthetic energy to support both its own life and the development of offspring. For years, I watched this exact tragedy unfold in my own garden. I did what almost every beginner does. I ran to the local garden center and bought expensive, heavy-duty nitrogen fertilizers, thinking my plants were simply hungry. When that didn't work, I bought commercial chemical fungicides that smelled of harsh synthetic compounds, only to watch my delicate cucumber leaves burn under the hot summer sun. The yellowing didn't stop, the soil biology was compromised, and the harvest was ruined. What happened next surprised me, and it completely changed the way I look at garden health. I realized that the secret to saving a failing plant isn't found in a bottle of synthetic chemicals with warning labels on the back. Instead, it lies in understanding the delicate ecosystem of the leaf surface itself. When cucumber leaves turn yellow, it is rarely a simple case of the plant needing more food. More often than not, it is a sign that the plant's natural defenses have been breached by microscopic fungal pathogens, such as downy mildew or powdery mildew, or that tiny sap-sucking pests are draining its life force from the inside out. To solve this, we don't need to wage a war of chemical eradication. We simply need to restore balance, strengthen the plant's physical barrier, and make the leaf surface an incredibly hostile environment for pests and fungal spores. After years of trial, error, and talking with old-school homesteaders who have been growing prize-winning vegetables since before commercial fertilizers even existed, I discovered a simple, natural spray solution that acts as both a shield and a restorative tonic. The beauty of this remedy is that it uses basic, food-grade ingredients you likely already have in your kitchen pantry. But don't let its simplicity fool you. When combined in the correct proportions and applied with the right technique, this homemade solution can halt leaf yellowing in its tracks, trigger a flush of vibrant new growth, and secure a heavy, continuous harvest of cucumbers all season long. Here's where the real secret begins. To understand why this natural spray is so incredibly effective, we have to look at the science of how plants interact with their environment. The surface of a cucumber leaf is a bustling microscopic landscape. It is covered in tiny hairs called trichomes and breathing pores called stomata. Fungal spores, which are constantly floating through the summer air, land on these leaves and wait for the perfect conditions, usually a bit of morning dew or high humidity, to germinate and send microscopic tubes down into the leaf tissue to feed on the plant's sugars. Once this happens, the plant's cells die, resulting in those characteristic yellow and brown spots. Our first line of defense in this natural recipe is simple baking soda, or sodium bicarbonate. Most gardeners are completely unaware of how baking soda actually works on a leaf. It isn't a poison. Rather, it is a powerful pH modifier. Fungal spores require a slightly acidic to neutral environment on the leaf surface to germinate and establish themselves. When we apply a mild solution of baking soda, we dramatically raise the pH of the leaf surface, making it highly alkaline. This sudden shift in pH completely disrupts the osmotic balance of the fungal spores, preventing them from germinating and halting the spread of existing infections. But baking soda alone isn't enough because it doesn't easily stick to the slick, waxy cuticle of a cucumber leaf. This is the step many people skip, and it is the primary reason why so many homemade remedies fail. To make our alkaline shield stick, we need a natural surfactant, and for this, we use a single teaspoon of high-quality vegetable cooking oil. The oil breaks down the surface tension of the water, allowing the mixture to spread out in a thin, even, protective film across the entire leaf, rather than bead up and roll off onto the ground. Furthermore, this thin layer of oil serves a dual purpose. It physically smothers tiny, soft-bodied pests like spider mites and aphids that love to hide on the undersides of the leaves and drain the plant's sap. To turn this protective shield into an active deterrent, we introduce our secret weapon: garlic powder. Garlic contains a powerhouse compound called allicin, as well as natural sulfur compounds. Sulfur has been used for centuries in traditional agriculture as a highly effective natural fungicide and insect repellent. When we incorporate garlic into our spray, we are not just creating a barrier. We are releasing natural volatile compounds that actively repel flying pests, disrupt the feeding habits of destructive insects, and inhibit the cellular division of fungal pathogens. To bring all these powerful ingredients together, we must start with the foundation: 1 liter of warm water. This is a crucial detail that many gardeners overlook. Cold water from the garden hose will cause the baking soda to clump and the oil to separate into large, useless droplets. Warm water, on the other hand, increases the kinetic energy of the molecules, allowing the baking soda to dissolve completely and helping the vegetable oil to emulsify evenly throughout the liquid. Start by pouring 1 liter of warm water into a clean mixing container. Add 1 tablespoon of baking soda and stir thoroughly until the water is completely clear and the powder is fully dissolved. Next, add 1 teaspoon of garlic powder and 1 teaspoon of vegetable oil. Stir the mixture vigorously for several minutes to ensure the oil is broken down into microscopic droplets and distributed evenly throughout the warm water. Once your ingredients are thoroughly mixed, you might be tempted to pour the liquid straight into your spray bottle and head out to the garden. However, doing so is a recipe for frustration. This is the step where patience pays off. After mixing, you must let the solution sit undisturbed for at least 2 hours. During this resting period, a process of cold infusion occurs. The warm water and alkaline environment draw out the active sulfur compounds and aromatic oils from the garlic powder, fully integrating them into the liquid base. What happened next when I first made this mixture without waiting was a valuable lesson. My spray nozzle clogged within 30 seconds. Garlic powder, while finely ground, still contains tiny insoluble fibrous particles. If these particles enter your spray bottle, they will instantly clog the delicate siphon tube and nozzle mechanism, resulting in an uneven, sputtering spray, or a completely ruined bottle. To prevent this, after the 2-hour resting period, you must filter the liquid carefully. Grab a fine mesh kitchen sieve, or, better yet, drape a clean piece of cheesecloth or an old cotton t-shirt over a funnel. Slowly pour the mixture through the cloth into a clean jug. The cloth will catch every single microscopic grain of garlic pulp, leaving you with a smooth, golden amber liquid that will glide through any sprayer without a single clog. Now, we must address the dilution process. The concentrated mixture we have just brewed is incredibly potent. If you were to spray this directly onto your plants, the high concentration of sodium bicarbonate and garlic oils would overwhelm the delicate leaf tissues, causing severe foliage burn, especially under the summer sun. To make it perfectly safe yet highly effective, we must dilute our 1-liter concentrate with 3 liters of clean, room-temperature water. This brings our total volume to 4 liters of balanced, plant-safe protective spray. Stir the final mixture one last time to ensure complete homogenization. The timing of your application is just as important as the recipe itself. Many gardeners make the mistake of spraying their plants in the middle of a hot, sunny afternoon. When water droplets mixed with oil sit on a leaf under direct, intense sunlight, they act like tiny magnifying glasses, focusing the sun's rays and scorching the leaf tissue. To avoid this, always apply your spray either in the very early morning, just as the sun is rising, or in the cool of the evening after the harsh midday heat has passed. Early morning is particularly effective because it allows the spray to dry slowly and bond with the leaf cuticle before the midday sun hits, while also neutralizing any dampness from morning dew that might encourage fungal spores to wake up. With your sprayer filled and the timing perfect, it is time to apply the treatment. When spraying your cucumbers, you must be systematic and thorough. Do not just give the plants a quick, casual misting from above. Fungal spores and pests are masters of evasion. They almost always start their colonization on the shady, damp undersides of the lower leaves, away from the direct sun and wind. Start at the base of the plant and work your way up. Adjust your spray nozzle to a fine, misty fog rather than a heavy stream. Carefully coat the top surface of every leaf, but pay special attention to flipping the leaves over and thoroughly drenching the undersides. Ensure you also spray the main stems, the climbing tendrils, and even the soil immediately surrounding the base of the vine, as fungal spores often overwinter in the top layer of garden mulch. If your cucumber plants are already showing signs of yellowing leaves or the early dusty spots of powdery mildew, you should repeat this application every 5 to 7 days. If you are experiencing a particularly wet, humid summer, or if you have just had a heavy rainstorm that washed the protective layer away, do not wait for the yellowing to return. Apply the spray as soon as the leaves dry after a rain. For healthy plants with no visible symptoms, applying this spray once every 2 weeks acts as an incredible, organic preventative shield that keeps the foliage robust, deep green, and highly resistant to environmental stressors. The results became visible just days later when I first used this method on my struggling heirloom cucumbers. Within 48 hours, the rapid spread of the yellow spots completely halted. The existing yellow areas dried up safely, without spreading to adjacent healthy tissue. By day 5, I noticed a dramatic shift in the plant's overall energy. The crown of the vine began pushing out new, incredibly thick, vibrant emerald green leaves that looked stronger and more resilient than any of the older foliage. But the most rewarding moment came a week later. The blossoms stopped falling off. The vine held onto its bright yellow flowers, and within a few more days, dozens of tiny, prickly baby cucumbers began to form, swelling rapidly into perfectly shaped, delicious fruit. This simple, cost-effective, and completely organic approach does more than just save your current crop. It fosters a healthier garden ecosystem. By avoiding harsh chemical fungicides, you preserve the beneficial predatory insects, like ladybugs and lacewings, that keep pest populations in check naturally. You also protect the vital soil microbes that keep your plants fed from the roots up. If you are tired of watching your hard work turn yellow and wither away, and if you want to experience the joy of harvesting basket after basket of crisp, homegrown cucumbers, I highly encourage you to mix up a batch of this traditional remedy and try it in your own garden this week. It works wonders not just on cucumbers, but also on squash, pumpkins, and melons, which are all susceptible to the same summer leaf struggles. If you found these practical tips helpful and want to discover more time-tested, natural gardening secrets that will help your backyard homestead thrive, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment below sharing your own experiences with yellowing leaves, or let me know how this recipe works for your plants. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today, and happy gardening!